Hey, welcome to today's devotional. I'm going to look at certain scripture, Proverbs 23:7. For as he thinks in his heart, so is he. I think that this verse has been so misinterpreted that it deserves some comment. Let me read it again. For as he thinks in his heart, so is he. And there have been those who have said that this verse basically says that you are how you think. In other words, you are poor because you think you are poor, or you are unsuccessful, disadvantaged, not achieving your goals because you have improper thinking. You are not thinking of yourself properly. If you want to be wealthy, prosperous, you need to imagine yourself as prosperous. Visualize yourself driving a nice new Cadillac, living in a nice home in a nice community, working at a fulfilling job, whatever. And you might think, who believes this, what I call nonsense? To me, this kind of thinking is not really substantiated much elsewhere in Scripture, but it is thinking that is still popular. I've been a Christian for over 40 years, and I've heard this verse being used in all that time, suggesting that you are what you think. Who believes this? Well, you probably wouldn't be surprised that individuals like Kenneth Copeland, Kenneth Hagin, the Faith School, I guess, as it's called, believe this kind of thing. If you go on their website, read their books, you will see that they promote that in order to change your life, the circumstances of your life, you need to change your thinking. But there are others that maybe you hold in high esteem, someone like Joyce Meyer. Let me read something from her book, Battlefield of the Mind. This one scripture, and this is in reference to Proverbs 23:7, this one scripture alone lets us know how very important it is that we think properly. Thoughts are powerful, and according to the writer of the book of Proverbs, they have creative ability. In other words, how you're thinking about your circumstances and about yourself can creatively change those circumstances and who you are. Another one, who was a popular televangelist, Andrew Womack. Go on his website, read his materials. You will see that he also ascribes to this interpretation of this verse. Rod Parsley, in addressing it, will use Proverbs 23:7 again to say that how you think can change your life circumstances. And if you are not thinking properly, he calls it stinking thinking. Well, is that what this verse says? Well, let's go to Proverbs 23:7, and I want to read the first portion that leads up to Proverbs 23:7. When you sit down to eat with a ruler, consider carefully what is before you, and put a knife to your throat. If you are a man given to appetite, do not desire his delicacies, for they are deceptive food. Do not overwork to be rich. Because of your own understanding, cease. Will you set your eyes on that which is not? For riches certainly make themselves wings that fly away like an eagle toward heaven. Do not eat the bread of a miser, nor desire his delicacies. For as he thinks in his heart, so is he. Well, is this verse telling us that we become as we think? Absolutely not. This is saying that if a powerful man, wealthy man, wines and dines you, that is not necessarily a picture of what this person really thinks of you. If he is somebody who is actually a miser and stingy, that is more of a reflection of this individual. That outwardly he is entertaining you, wining and dining you, but inside he begrudges everything that you are taking. And so the scripture says that do not be deceived by outward appearances, for it's really how we are thinking in our heart which is a better reflection of who we really are. And this was a message certainly spoken of by Jesus. I remember when he was addressing the issue of adultery, he said that the man in sin here is not just the one who actually commits adultery, it's thinking adulterous acts, fantasizing about them. That man has a problem. And I think all of us as Christians understand the difficulty in addressing our inward thoughts. We might be able to control our outward behavior, but we would struggle how we think and how we feel. So I might be smiling at you on the outside, but inside I have jealousy, bitterness, anger, dislike, whatever. And so Proverbs 23:7 is not a declaration that you can change your life circumstances by thinking. Look, I don't want to take away the importance of thinking. Scripture does say that we can be changed by the renewing of our minds, but not in this way. This is more like Norman Vincent Peale, the power of positive thinking, or name it and claim it. That's not what Scripture teaches. We need to be concerned about what we're thinking, and we understand that the sanctifying work of God's Spirit will begin to change not only our outward behavior, but our inward behavior as well. So please, don't be deceived into thinking that you're going to move from poverty to prosperity, failure to success, merely by imagining yourself as prosperous or as successful. I think Joyce Meyer, Hagen, Copeland, Womack, Parsley, and all the others have committed really a basic scriptural interpretational error, and that is taking things out of context. If you take Proverbs 23:7 out of context, maybe it does appear to say what these folks are saying. But when you look at the scripture in its context, it is clear that is not what that verse is saying. This is a common mistake. I probably have made it many times. But as I've said before, we need to be wise Bereans. Look at Scripture. Whenever you're studying a Scripture, look at what comes before, look at what comes after, to make sure that you are interpreting verses in their proper scriptural setting. So I hope this was helpful for you, and take care till the next time. Bye-bye.